This is week 3, and I want to do a recap of how the last 7 days has been. And before I say anything, I want to preface this video by saying that I'm not going to hide anything. I'm not going to oversell myself. I'm going to be very vulnerable with you guys and tell you exactly who I am, the mistakes I did, and more importantly, because I know exactly what I'm going to do, I'm just going to be fully honest and transparent with you guys. And I'm going to start by telling you what went wrong this week. So I launched my first client on Monday, and his ads went live. And the first 5 days of him being live, the ads were just god awful. They just weren't performing. And because of that, I was so in my head and overthinking so much. I was like, oh my gosh, is this actually going to work? Can I get results from my client? Am I going to have to refund him? Am I going to go into negative ad spend? Then is the other client I signed, can I actually deliver results for him? What happens then? And I was so stressed out and anxious that I fell into 2 very bad habits. The first one is scrolling, which is not that much of an issue. I can get rid of it, and I have. And the second thing that I fell into, and I want to be transparent here, is I fell into lust. And it's not the type of lust where like I'm lusting after a woman, but it's lust in a way where it's like I'm escaping the pain that I'm in. Because I put myself in so much pain where it's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And this book right here, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, has changed my life. And it's helped me a lot this week. And the biggest thing that I learned so far is, what if you adopt the mindset that, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And that's helped me a lot. So that's what went wrong this week, that I fell into a rut. However, I had a call with one of my friends who does around $30,000-$40,000 a month in the dental niche, and we had a 3-hour conversation, and it really just changed my whole perspective, and it gave me a new source of motivation. More importantly, we fixed a lot of problems I had. And around 10 minutes ago, I booked my first appointment for my client. And not even that. I know this is unconfirmed, by the way. Not even that. But if we go here, cost per lead is $6.24. And it's all because we fixed the media buying issue. So we fixed the media buying issue. Let me actually get into that as well. So this is what went well this week. We signed our second client. First client ads went live, dialed in a lot of the systems when it comes to sales, onboarding, and we got a lot of clarity. What went very wrong is I made some very bad media buying decisions that lost me a lot of money. I overthinked a lot that caused me to fall into lust, and I focused on bad things subconsciously. Now, what I mean by that is, after reading the book Psycho-Cybernetics, I realized that I focused a lot. As an example, when I first fell into lust this week, I focused a lot on it, like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? And because I focused so much on it, I created like a negative automatic mechanism towards it. And instead of focusing on how much I've accomplished in the last 2 weeks, I focused on the bad things. And that kept me stuck in the cycle. And that gives me a lot of clarity that I realized that was one of my biggest flaws. So that's this week summed up. And I also want to talk about, let me see right here. So like I told you guys, I had a call with my friend who has a relatively decent agency. And this is what my to-do list is for the next week. So right here, we're gonna crack B2C ads, get good cost per leads by Friday, launch cold emails tomorrow on paid ads, and I'm gonna pick up a girl wearing a fedora hat this week. And the reason I'm doing that is because last week I said I would do some things to my friend. I said I think I would do, I said I cracked service delivery and I didn't. So because of that, he gave me that as a punishment. Do I want to do it? No. Do I have to? Yes, that's who I am. And also I got a lot of clarity on what my goals are, which is to sign 10 clients in the next 35 to 45 days. And I want to do this mostly after I crack B2C ads, but I'm still gonna do it now. And I have the numbers written down here where if I do a cold email plus paid ads, we're gonna hit around 8K in the next 30 to 35 to 45 days. Now, the last thing I want to show you is tomorrow. Tomorrow, this is the plan of action. As you can see here, launch new ads, take my sales call, and so on and so forth. So I actually turned the ads off a few days ago, but I have one sales call tomorrow, which is very solid. We'll see where that goes, but again, just to kind of like summarize how this week went, it was very good when it comes to like the business, but I want to be fully transparent and I want to say like one of the reasons why I haven't seen success earlier in my life is because I haven't matured and developed enough as a man and emotionally. And I know that I had a very traumatic childhood and I had a lot of pain that I haven't dealt with, a lot of pain. And that could be an excuse, but the reason I'm saying this is because I just know I haven't developed enough as a man, and especially emotionally. And the biggest weakness I have is in my own character, where it's like sometimes I overthink, I get anxious, I want to escape pain, and I do dumb decisions like I did this week, like I told you guys before. Anyways, that's how this week went. Next week, I'm being fully serious. It's going to be our best week so far. We might not sign a client, and that's okay because I only have one call lineup because, again, I turned the ads off. But what I will do next week is I'm going to crack my service delivery as I did today. I'm going to launch cold emails. I'm going to figure out media buying because I'm really bad at it. And I'm just going to put the agency in a place where it's like I'm actually ready to scale. Because genuinely, I'm very scared right now if I brought on 10 clients, like, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing. How am I going to fulfill for everyone? But I think this week I'm going to put myself in a place where it's like, hey, I've got the service delivery cracked. Everything's good. I'm now ready to take on 10 clients and see what's going to break then. So that's kind of where everything's at. And I also want to focus a lot on my character and my identity. And the way I'm going to do that actually is I'm just going to do like a lot of self-reflection, because one of the things I did is I actually took a WhatsApp chat of someone I was really close to and I put it into Claude and I told it, hey, this is my WhatsApp conversation with this person. I want you to analyze all my weaknesses and all my strengths. And I found a lot out about myself, like what my biggest weaknesses are, my biggest strengths. And I just need to literally mature a lot as a man, because I do have a belief that I'm very immature. It serves me and it also doesn't serve me. So yeah, that's me being very vulnerable and also telling you guys exactly what I'm going to do this week. And more importantly, like once I crack service delivery, we're going to go all in on acquisition, because right now we're closing at around 40% on raw calls and 50% qualified calls. And if I didn't make some really bad media buying decisions, my ROAS would be around 2.5x, right? I know exactly what works when it comes to B2B. I know how to sell. I know how to market. Not an issue. Biggest bottleneck is just cracking B2C. Once I crack that, I'm serious. I'm going to get to 100K a month, probably in a year's time, if not less. 10K a month, we're going to get it in 70 days. So man, that was a freaking vulnerable video. I can't lie. It was really hard for me to talk about some of the things I said in this video. But yeah, that's the recap of week 3. And this week is going to be the biggest week so far. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's have an amazing night.